Welcome back to Awesome News TV, and today we're going to look at the exclusive inside story on Aubameyang's Arsenal to Barcelona transfer as final straw explained. So, exactly 4 years to the day since he signed for Arsenal, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang left for Barcelona even before a deal was agreed between the two clubs. The transfer looked like it collapsed yesterday afternoon when the sides couldn't agree how to split the striker's mammoth £350,000 per week wages, but eventually an inventive solution was found which led to Aubameyang's exit from the Emirates. He played 163 games for the Gunners, scoring 92 goals and assisting 20 more, and is the only player to win the Golden Boot since Robin van Persie. But more importantly, he led the Gunners to 2 cup finals and won the FA Cup in Mikel Arteta's first few weeks at the club. When the issues of the last few months that led to his exit died down, he will be fondly remembered by the Gunners faithful. Many on both sides still believe the sale could have been avoided, but perhaps moving on was best for everyone involved. So now that the deal has been agreed and the Gabonese striker has moved, how did everything unravel, and how was the rollercoaster transfer finally agreed? So the final straw was indeed the France trip. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's now notorious trip to France to see his family will be remembered as the events which lost him his place in the team and the captaincy. The club was aware that he was in France to help his sick mum, but Mikel Arteta didn't accept him returning to London 7 hours later than had been agreed. A combination of poor luck and bad form meant that the manager, who was under pressure to get results, made an example of him and axed him entirely. Aubameyang's camp insists that he was not aware that the isolation rules had changed and that he would have jumped to the private jets had he known otherwise, but also said ignorance was not an excuse. Arteta stripped him of the captaincy and made him train with the reserves. So in terms of how Aubameyang handled the demolition, the Aubameyang camp maintains that he only agreed to sign his bumper £350,000 a week 3-year deal in September 2020 because of Mikel Arteta. There was strong interest from Barcelona, Real Madrid and Juventus, but Arteta, still very new in his job, drove to Aubameyang's Highgate mansion and assured him that they would build the team around him and bring in players to complement him. The Spanish manager said at the time he's an important leader for the team and a big part of what we are building. He wants to be up there with the best players in the world and leave his mark. He can achieve that here. Club legend Ian Wright carved out a social media hashtag sign the ting to try and convince Aubameyang to stay in North London. Ian Wright reports pitch side for ITV Sports, and so Mikel Arteta's hardline stance on Aubameyang's France trip took the striker by surprise. Sources have claimed that the manager's real reason was that the Gabon striker wasn't scoring enough goals and he was hoping to shift Aubameyang's huge wages. He only scored 4 goals in 14 games this season, but many Gunners fans will have wondered if the number 14 had more to give. Arteta reportedly thought that Aubameyang sometimes seemingly disinterested. However, the striker's camp said that his mother's poor health has been occupying his mind. After starting out as best friends in September 2020, the pair have not ever spoken since the day in December that Mikel Arteta stripped Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang of the captaincy. So the next stage was that he was flying to Barcelona before a deal had been agreed, and Aubameyang's AFCON couldn't have got any worse. He ended up catching COVID in Dubai on his way to Cameroon and then was ruled out of the tournaments with a heart scare. When he returned to Arsenal, Barcelona reached out to try and arrange a deal, as new manager Xavi is a big admirer of the Gabon speedster, but the Catalans did not have the finances to match his £350,000 a week wages. Barca said they would try and offload players to fit the Arsenal into their salary cap, so Aubameyang got his representatives to reach out to Arteta, who he had not spoken to for a month. Arteta was still disappointed that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang had not apologised for the late return from his trip, gave the green light for the negotiations to begin after speaking to the owners. The Arsenal boss thought the move was in the best interests of everyone. Barcelona suggested Aubameyang travel to Spain on deadline day to help in negotiations, and the forward flew to the Catalan city to be greeted by reporters and TV crews. The initial plan was for Aubameyang to join on a loan move for the rest of the season and have the two clubs split his wages, but as discussions progressed, it was increasingly clear Barcelona did not have enough cash for this. Aubameyang was willing to take a large pay cut, but also Barcelona could not agree on the percentage of the splits, with the Catalans offering a low amount. In the end, Arsenal agreed to mutually terminate his contracts and allow Barcelona to draft a similar deal to the one Aubameyang first had when he moved to Arsenal. Both parties shook hands and the deal was done just before 11 p.m. And so Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang follows another famous Arsenal number 14, Thierry Henry, to Barcelona. However, will he have as much success as the Frenchman? So this is the exclusive inside story on Aubameyang's Arsenal to Barcelona transfer, as the final straw was explained, and there are lots of things that should be taken into consideration regarding this transfer deal, and many fans would say, why didn't we get a transfer fee for Barcelona for Aubameyang? But it was pretty much impossible because Barcelona didn't have the finances at all. They couldn't agree a fee with Arsenal in terms of the percentage cuts and how much one club plays and how much the other club plays. So there's so much things into consideration. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Mikel Arteta didn't talk for 1 month. Ever since December, they haven't talked to each other. That's very, very sad to hear, because both of them were very good with each other, had a very strong relationship with each other, and we know that Mikel Arteta has his non-negotiables. If you don't talk with the manager is not going to come down and let the player understand that, okay, let's try and sort things out. The player has to go up to the manager, and that's something that has to be done, because the other players would then start to question if Mikel Arteta goes to Aubameyang and asks, why are you not talking to me, or something like that. That will lead to a bad influence and a bad environment overall to the Arsenal camp. So there was a lot of things to be taken into consideration, and very sad that Aubameyang didn't owe up to the mistake. That's something that he could have done and we would have not lost him, and now we're without even a striker at the moment. But Aubameyang follows Thierry Henry's path. But I want to hear your guys' opinion regarding Aubameyang to Barcelona, and would this be a transfer saviour or a transfer mistake? So we will have to wait and see how Arsenal performs at the end of this season. If you want to see more daily videos from Arsenal News TV, make sure you click the subscribe button, hit the like button so I know if you enjoyed the video, and share the video to your Arsenal friends and family. Click one of the videos on the screen and I'll see you there.